Okay, today we're going to talk about Cpctc. Okay, what that stands for is corresponding, takes a long time to write that out, corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. Okay, so write that down. Cpctc stands for corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. Okay, here's what it means. Okay, so if we have two sets of congruent triangles, let's say I proved it by side, side, side. We know that that only took 3 parts, right? Those were called shortcuts. Well, we only talked about 3 parts. However, if the triangles are congruent, that means all those other parts, all those other angles in this case, would have to be congruent as well. So what this allows us to do is say, okay, if the triangles are congruent, then all those other parts I didn't talk about in my 3 congruency statements, those are congruent as well. Okay, here's the big thing though. You can only use Cpctc after you've proven the triangle's congruent. Okay, so you can only use it after you've proven the triangles are congruent. It's kind of like an afterthought. I've got, oh, by the way, because the triangles are congruent, those other parts are congruent as well. So here's what it's going to look like in a proof. Here's the proof we're going to look at. In this case here, let me zoom out a little bit. We have our given. It says AB is congruent to KG. We know AC is congruent to KN. Angle A is congruent to angle K. I want to prove that angle B is congruent to angle G. Now, typically in the past, this proof statement was always like triangle ABC is congruent to triangle XYZ. But this time it has angles that are congruent. That tells me I'm probably going to be using Cpctc here. So I'm going to have to prove triangles congruent first, and then I can add that on. So the proof starts out the same way as always. Start with our givens. So I know that AB is congruent to KG. And I'm going to mark that, AB and KG. Then I know that AC is congruent to KN. AC and KN are congruent. I'll write that down. Then my last one, this is a nice one because I gave you all the givens. Angle A is congruent to angle K. That's also given. Okay, so after you have it all written down, I need to look, do I have 3 congruency statements? Yes, I do. Is it a good combination? Yes, we have side angle side here, which is allowed. So now what I'm going to do, sorry, I'm going to have to zoom out a little bit more here. Now what I can do is say that my triangles are congruent. So I'm going to have to name my triangles on my own this time. So I'm going to pick triangle ABC is congruent to triangle, and I have to figure out how they match up. So A matches up with K, B matches up with G, and then N. So my 2 triangles are congruent because of side angle side. So that's everything we've already done. Literally the only thing we're adding now is this very last line that says that angle B now has to be congruent to angle G because of Cpctc. Corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. Okay, I went through that kind of fast. I posted this video to Google Classroom as well. So if you need to stop it, listen to it again, look at the notes again, it is on Google Classroom for you.